Good day, sir. Good day, everyone. I am Desiree Joy Julian, together with
Lady Jane Hermogenes,
and we are today's module presenter. The subject area is English 7, which covers the lesson about the figures of speech, specifically those that shows comparison. So in this module, we are opted to focus on the 3 figures of speech. Those are simile, metaphor, and personification. Moreover, the context we have chosen for this module is nature because we are dealing with comparison, and our group thought that it would be a lot easier for students to observe comparisons with the things that are around them.
as a start of welcoming student in our module, we make a short introductory message which aims to guide them by explaining the following parts of the module, so that they have a glimpse or background on what they are need to accomplish.
Moving on to what I need to know, at the end of this module, the students are expected to first, define and explain the figure of speech that shows comparison. Then next, identify those figures of speech in a sentence. And at last, construct their own descriptive poem using the figures of speech. These objectives are the basis of the different activities that we prepared for the students, and this is the main goal that the students must gain after they finish this module.
Going to what I know, we use a 10-item multiple choice since we want the student to test their foundation with the lesson, and also to establish our objectives. In that way, we will be able to ready our students on the succeeding lessons. But it is more likely a review. To continue, we are now on the part of what is it. On this part of the module, we will target our first objective, which is to define and explain the figures of speech that shows comparison. We use the simplest explanation and give 2 examples in sentence form. By doing so, it will be easier for them to see the difference on how these 3 figures of speech will be used in a sentence. It is like the discussion part or the lecture of the students that may help them to better understand the topic.
Let's now move on to what's more. What's more is consisted of 3 different activities that follow spiral development, from the easiest one to the difficult level of activity, beginning with Independent Assessment 1, entitled Good Beginning. From the title, we can grasp that this part of activity is the beginning or the easiest. It is a blend of sentence samples and definitions to be identified true or false. But instead of writing true or false, we used a tree and a flower, something that is related to nature or in our context, that encourages or enable a more creative learning. On the other hand, the second independent assessment, entitled Stand Firm, is constituted of sentence where the use of simile, metaphor, and personification is being applied, and the goal of the students is to identify what kind of figures of speech existed on the sentence. And to apply and maintain our context, we use the clouds to represent the 3 figures of speech.
The last activity, entitled Dig Deeper. In this poem, it is time for the student to find out the figures of speech in the article. They need to encircle the phrases that show simile, backs the metaphor, and underline the personification. It is also aimed to target our second objectives, which is identify the figures of speech that shows a comparison in a sentence. With this activity, we can also familiarize the students on the usage of these figures of speech. After all the activities, we are down to what I have learned. Students are encouraged to share everything or every lessons they were able to pick up from the very beginning up to the last activity. It also measures the takeaways of the students in this module.
And before the module end, we will leave them the final activity wherein on their own, they will create or construct a descriptive poem with the use of figures of speech. We incorporated the context here through limiting the poem to their most unforgettable vacation. The succeeding parts of the module are for the answer key and references that we used in formulating this module. That's all, and thank you for listening. Again, I am Desiree Joy R. Julian, together with
Lady Jane Hermogenes, and we are today's module presenter.